Welcome to the College Heights Huddle. I am soon-to-be Sports Editor Peyton Reid with
David Quintanilla, returning Spanish editor.
a successful weekend for bat and ball.
Yes,
they both
sir.
won the series.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
David, what happened in the baseball land?
15 hours of baseball.
Ooh.
Baseball played 5 games this week.
Oh, awesome.
That was fun. So in total, I watched over 16 hours of baseball this week, not including MLB.
Oh. Did you have fun?
Hey, I actually had a lot of fun.
They won.
So they started the week in Richmond, Kentucky. Good old Richmond, Kentucky.
A jump and a skip over.
I heard it's beautiful. You know what else is beautiful? How Western Kentucky University beat EKU 13-0 in a run rule win using only 2 pitchers. Dominic Monaco got the start, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. And then Trey Reinberg came in after him and pitched 3 innings. I can do math, guys. Yeah, so pitching performance was just good. Hitting was there, obviously.
Thank goodness.
There was really nothing much about the game. EKU just put a lot of balls in the strike zone that Western just hit out of the park, you know.
Yeah.
And then they had to come back to Bowling Green the very next day to play Austin Peay,
Which is brutal. Even though it's not that far of a drive.
It's still very brutal.
Yeah.
So Austin Peay, they won 6-4. Daniel Stewart. Let me talk about Daniel Stewart for a little bit. Senior outfielder Daniel Stewart. This is a guy who is hitting, I think, 212.
Okay.
He is somehow the Hilltoppers' most clutch hitter, though.
Awesome.
He has 3 home runs that have come from pinch hits. And he decided to do that against Austin Peay. They were losing 4-2. And then he hit a home run. Pinch hit. Walked in the box and was like,
Oh, wow.
nah, I'm going to do it my way. And so, yeah, he got that. And then Cale Frost, 2 RBI double in the 8th. Got them the 6-4 lead, and then they won. And this felt more like a midweek game for the Hilltoppers because Mark Reardon used 8 pitchers.
Goodness.
Average midweek game for Reardon. He likes just taking a pitcher out after a few pitches.
Why didn't he do that against EKU then? Well, I guess because they had 2 games back to back.
I think with the EKU, it was 13-0, so it didn't matter, like the arms. He just wanted to see... I think he wanted to give Dominic Monaco a larger outing too because he was a starter at the beginning of the season. So it's to see if he could still go those amount of pitches. Yeah. And then Trey Reinberg, I mean, I think he's pitched back-to-back days on multiple occasions. So, but 8 pitchers used. Bullpen back question mark? We'll talk about that.
Maybe.
Ooh, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that because Western played a huge series against Kennesaw State. So coming into this weekend, they were tied 7-11 records, and they were tied for 6-7. Anyways, the series went to the Hilltoppers.
They needed
it. Game 1. This was a very entertaining weekend. Very entertaining baseball.
Yes. High-scoring
games in a pitcher's ballpark. Like the ESPN Plus said it yesterday. Nick Dennis Field is like the most pitcher-friendly ballpark in Conference USA. 400 to center field, like 380 to right and left field. So, you know, it's a very deep ballpark, and it doesn't. We're in Kentucky, so there's not like much wind. Like we're not high altitude or anything, so that doesn't really play an effect unless it's like a windy day. But high-scoring games. The theme of the series, though, was hitting with runners on. WKU hit 356 with runners on, while Kennesaw State hit just 216 with runners on.
They struggled with,
and that is something they struggled with, and they struggled with it in Game 3. But Games 1 and 2, it was pretty exciting.
Let's just forget about Game 3.
Let's just forget about. Actually, you know what?
Just scribble it out.
So Game 1, let's talk about this. Game 1, they hit 10 for 25 with runners on. Okay, which was pretty good. Kennesaw State 3 for 16. My highlight of Game 1 though was Mick Uber. He pitched 3 innings, the final 3 innings, where Western was winning 9-8. Mm-hmm. Gave up just 1 hit and struck out 5 in the final 3 innings, which was awesome. And guess who brought in the game-winning run? Senior outfielder Daniel Stewart hit an RBI single to make the game 9-8.
Is he normally a pinch hitter, or is he normally in the...
He started game 1.
Okay.
Pinch hit game 2. Pinch hit game 3. It depends on the pitcher on the mound.
Gotcha.
That was pretty cool to see. Game 1. He did not pitch the final out, though. Sam Frizzy pitched the final out, so he was credited with the save. Which, if I was Mick, I'd be kind of mad at that because those 3 innings were kind of those 3 innings were really impressive. And then he got taken out in the last out of the game to get the save stolen from him. Game 2 followed a similar fashion where runners on was like the main focus. It was 4-4 after 5 innings, and then the Hilltoppers had 6-7 inning magic, where they scored 3 runs in the 6th and 7th inning. It was a sac fly by Parker Coley and an RBI single by Cale Frost. And then in the 7th inning, it was scored as a pass ball. But from my point of view, it was meant to be like on the outside, but it went in the inside, so the catcher couldn't get the ball. I would have scored as a wild pitch. It was a pass ball, though. So technically, Austin Holler scored on a pass ball.
So what is the difference between wild pitch, obviously, in pass ball? Because I thought, regardless, if it went behind the catcher, it was a wild pitch.
No.
Okay.
So the catcher, you usually like know where the ball's gonna go based on like how the catcher's position. So if the catcher's position here, then it's gonna go on the right side of the plate. It's a wild pitch whenever like the ball goes like nowhere near where the catcher says.
Gotcha.
Game 3. You know what? I'm actually not even mad. I'm not mad because they got the series. They needed the series. They got the series win. Good for them. They did lose 9-6 though. It was a good hitting 3 home runs. They were all solo though. So Kyle Hayes got his 10th of the season. He's leading the Hilltoppers with 10. Arroyos hit another one, and Camden Ross hit one. Austin Holler also hit one. They were also home runs except for Hollers. So, I mean, you got to get on base to get, I think if they would have got people on base, we might be having a different discussion here, but they didn't. So they got the series win though. So they improved to 9-12, which is now the 3-way tie for 6th place.
With how many games left?
With 2 series left. So 6 conference games left. 6 conference games left. Not 6 games left in the series. No. 9 conference games left because they travel to MTSU this weekend. Then Dallas Baptist comes to Nick Dennis Field, and then they go to Delaware. So there's 3 more conference series left. So that's 9 games. Math. It's a 3-way tie for 6th place right now with MTSU and Sam Houston. This weekend, they travel to MTSU. Another really important series for them. They have to take the series. First 9 get into the conference tournament. So they're kind of in a comfortable position to make the tournament right now. But, they just want that better seeding.
Yeah.
So
of course.
A must win at MTSU. I mean, they got to win.
Yeah.
Before that, though, they travel to Austin P for the return game, for the away game against Austin P. So maybe they'll sweep Austin P in the season.
Might as well. It doesn't hurt. Well, they need to win. I think it'll hurt them if they lose.
I don't know. Mark Reardon does this thing where he doesn't really care about the midweek games anymore. Yeah, that's baseball.
Softball continues to win. They are now this weekend. They broke 2 more program records. Most runs in program record in a season. I think they're at 292, 293 now. Best home record, 26-1, undefeated at home. And then game 1 beat Kennesaw State 13-5 off of a 4-run 3rd inning. They continue to hit the ball amazingly. Kendall White and Macy Masters both had 3 RBIs and 1 home run each. And then Erica Hogue, the most used arm, continues to be a great asset for WKU. Allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, but had 5 strikeouts as well. And when you're hitting as good as they do, you have enough wiggle room to give up 5 runs. And then in game 2, they won 13-2, run rolled them after a 10-run 4th inning.
And there you go.
Which I don't even know. Kennesaw State, I think, forgot how to play softball. There was error after error in the fourth inning, and WKU only finished game 2 with 6 hits, all coming from different players. But Rylan Smith, she got the start through 4 innings with 7 strikeouts, allowed 3 hits and 2 runs. And then Maddie Wood, the senior who we'll talk about in game 3, she came in through an inning, had 1 strikeout and allowed 3 hits. But once again, when the bats are going, when you're taking advantage, and they're a really fast team, you have room to allow them to hit, allow them to get runs on the board. And then game 3, at the end of the series, they outscored Kennesaw State 33-9 across all 3 games.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, Game 3 was about to be run ruled, but Kennesaw State was able to recover, score 2 runs, and then WKU ultimately ended up winning 7-2. But Maddie Wood, the lone senior on the team, she threw 6.5 innings, struck out 2, allowed 4 hits and 2 runs. But WKU once again rode a 3-run 4th inning to victory, and they were walked 8 times. Macy Masters was walked twice, had an opportunity for a grand slam, was unable to get it, but I think got a single off of it. And then the third baseline was the hot corner. Lauren Satterley almost got hit. Amy Tudor did get hit. But ultimately a good hitting night for WKU. Hit .333. Jenna Blanton and Morgan Sharp went 2 for 4. So they continue to rack up the wins. 36-10 on the season, 18-6 in conference, and they're alone in second place. So if they now travel to Delaware, where they will play their final weekend series of the season, and then they will have the conference tournament in Delaware, but they're currently by themselves in second place. That is it.
That is it.
A successful weekend.
Yes.
Goodness, because I felt like one team did good, the other team didn't.
Well,
for a few weeks.
And for that, we got to thank Kennesaw State.
Yeah, this is true. But I think that will conclude it for baseball and softball this week. And I will now be joined with Austin Rice for Around the Hill. Thank you, David. I am now joined with Austin. We are going to do Around the Hill, women's golf, track and field, and then an update on some women's basketball and men's basketball.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I'm excited. Women's basketball finally did something. But Austin, what's happening in track and field?
Oh boy. So a lot has gone on in track once again. They went to the LSU Alumni Gold event meet is the word I'm looking for. But they had 3 podium finishes, which is really good for a meet of that caliber, where it's at LSU, obviously a very big track school in the Southeastern Conference. So very impressive from them. One of the best performances was Jackson Gray and Sam Crenshaw. They earned 2nd and 3rd place, respectively, in the men's pole vault, which is incredible. I mean, obviously, this is a huge event. Yeah. You can kind of show off your skills against some schools that are generally better. Now, I don't know exactly if LSU brought out all their runners. Yeah. They did, sometimes in some of these events where they have like WKU and other schools coming in, and they don't really have like a Southeastern Conference specific meet, they'll sometimes, rest some of their runners for a week, or like say, hey, you're only going to do 1 event instead of 4 in this one's. But that may have ended up happening, but still, against some of the guys that may not be, the best, or usually don't get the first spot in like pole vault or anything for LSU, still being able to go out there and get 2nd and 3rd place is very impressive. Yeah. So very good by them. Sterling Weldon finished 5th in the men's long jump with a mark of 7.25 meters. And Jayla Gilbert finished 8th in women's shot put with a distance of 14.21 meters. So both of them putting on very inspiring performances there. Cameron Horton, I feel like I've said his name a lot every time. I mentioned I got to talk to him at the home meet, which was very interesting. He posted an 11th place finish in the men's 200 meters field, clocking a time of 20.78. Another impressive performance from him. He has had a fantastic season, by the way. His name is always popping up every time you see the meet results. It's like, okay, top 5 finish, top 10 finish, especially for the 200 meters. Yeah. So very impressive there. But overall, they didn't run as many in this meet or in terms of like top finishes. But I mean, that makes sense for a very difficult meet of this caliber. But overall, very impressive performance. You definitely have 3 podium finishes. So it seems like they're definitely on the right track for the Conference USA Invitational and the NCAA one as well. So definitely it seems like everybody's locked in at this point in the season. So it'll be good to keep following, see how they're doing. But for them to go in to LSU, which I bet was stellar, like going there. I know like when I was running in high school, you would go to UK's track, and it was amazing. And UK, I mean, they're known for track, but like LSU and Florida are typically schools that a lot of people point to. So, to put on a great performance like that, very impressive. Overall, good for track and field. We'll see what happens in the future. Yeah,
and obviously going to a high caliber school like that, just getting your name out there, really.
Yes. Well, real quick, I do want to say the next one for WKU track and field is the Outdoor Music City Challenge, which is going to be hosted by Vanderbilt. So in Nashville, Friday, May the 1st. They also have other events, I think, on that Saturday. So support the Hilltoppers. They're going out to another meet then.
Not too far away this time.
Yeah, I know. It'll be very close. But it's cool that they're, doing all these bigger meets to try and really challenge their crew. So good on them.
And WKU women's golf comes off of another Conference USA tournament win. Took home the individual title and the team title once again, second straight season. They won shooting 13 over par, which isn't great, but there are some conditions in the second day that we'll get to that kind of lowered their score. But freshman Reagan Ramage won the individual title. She shot 3 under par after shooting 7 under par in the third day, which is just insane. And she's the third lady topper to win the individual title, as well as back-to-back. Sydney Hackett won it last year, and then Reagan Ramage won it this year. Third lady topper to win, and then the first freshman since 2013 to win the individual title. So a big accomplishment for her, for WKU. They're heading back to regionals after making it their last season for the first time in program history. The first day they came out, did what they needed to do. After having a rough they traveled to Texas A&M a few weeks ago, had a rough 3 days there, and then came to the Conference USA tournament, took first place, shot on par, and then day 1 was postponed to finish in the morning of day 2. Some rainy conditions caused them to shoot 11 over par, which every other team shot 9 or more over par. So everyone was having difficulty figuring out how to go about the rainy conditions, because you don't really want to play golf when it's soaking wet outside. So they were able to keep their first spot going into the third day, and then they in the final day, shot 2 over par as a team, which really helped them when it came down to it, because New Mexico State, Sam Houston, they were giving them a run. So that the first day shooting par, and then the third day only shooting 2 over par, really separated them from the field, and were able to take home the title. And New Mexico State's Emma Bunch, she gave Sydney Hackett a run for her money last year for the individual title. nearly went into another overtime with Reagan Ramage, like her and Sydney Hackett did a season ago. But Ramage was able to calm her nerves as a freshman and take home the individual title. And the selection show will take place this Wednesday. Excited to see where they end up because Reagan will, she'll be representing WKU individually and obviously as a team with her teammates. So exciting. Back to the regionals. Hopefully more success comes out of this season, but a amazing turnaround from WKU women's golf the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, very impressive. I think they've definitely reached a point now where you can start talking about them being one of the more consistent programs. Like, they definitely turned the corner, and now they're in like a very good, I guess the word is flow, where they're just, you know, could they become something like volleyball on the Hill? It could be.
It'll take them.
They're still in the early stages, but I can definitely see like the framework.
But especially they have a young team. I think 2 seniors graduating, so a young team. They added more hardware to the trophy case, and that's what you want to see for WKU athletics. So I'm excited to see where they end up and how they perform in regionals. But moving on now, do you want to talk about women's basketball first?
Yeah, we can talk about women's basketball.
Got 2 commits over the weekend or the week.
Finally, it feels like.
Yeah, it took them long enough.
But they're making moves.
Yes,
they're making moves right now.
That NIL money's coming into frame now. But they picked up 6'6", I believe, Haven Smith from Illinois. I tried to find some things on her. She didn't get a lot of playing time at Illinois. She played 17 games this last season, averaging like 3.5 minutes. And she combined for just 2 points and 9 rebounds across those games. So she wasn't used efficiently, but we talked about last week, women's basketball is going to need a paint presence, and they seemingly got it.
Yeah, and 6'6" at that point. I mean, I think that was definitely a big issue this last season, was they didn't really have much of a paint presence. Now you can kind of, especially with a younger team, getting another younger player in there, it would be very key. So I think especially at 6'6", that's a very good potential starter for this team.
And I mean, when you look at the roster as of now, it is guard heavy.
Yeah.
So having Smith in there will just cause issues because Conference USA isn't the tallest conference. And then when you bring in a 6'6" post player who I'm sure will get a lot more
from a bigger
time.
institution as well at Illinois, a more powerful or Power 5 school,
and has played in March Madness, so gets that experience.
Oh yeah.
Into WKU, and I think it was a really good pickup out of the portal. Waited a little too long to finally get his hands wet, but
we're getting scared there for a moment. But very good pickup.
Yes,
and that'll be very key next year. I feel like we're going to point to this specific pickup and be like, okay, that was a big game changer.
Yeah, I think she'll fit into the scheme of things well, especially with like Trinity Rowe. Just throw it down to her and let her do what she needs to do. So a good pickup, the first transfer. But I mean, she seems excited to come play for WKU. She's going to be used because they don't have. Yeah. Jennifer Silva graduated and so on. So the Lady Toppers also picked up a sophomore guard from Murray State, Ellery Minch. She's 6'3", some height once again. Played one season at Murray State, played her freshman season at DePaul. So her third school in 3 years. Hopefully this sticks. But played 28 minutes this past season, 7.9 minutes per game, about nearly 2 points a game. and a rebound a game. So another player who didn't get a lot of playing time, who Greg Collins was able to pick up. There's a couple of players around just college basketball that transfer from a school where they didn't get a lot of playing time and then show up and are able to produce at a high volume. But two players who didn't fully get a lot of playing time, but I think it's two players that also will fit in well at WKU, because figuring out had quite a bit of production graduate, Salma Kadir in the transfer portal, trying to fill those roles, and I think Mensch can do that well here. So two pickups, a guard and a forward that have height on their side.
Yeah, I like the idea for this roster for the upcoming season. I like what they're doing. I think definitely they've improved off of last year. And I think this roster, I really like that they're going for like these taller players, which is very key in women's basketball. And you need some tall players.
They have their guard room, I think, filled out.
Yes.
They have 3 incoming freshmen that are guards. Trinity Rowe, Tori James coming back, who played key minutes. And then when you have a 6'6" Haven Smith and a 6'3" Ellery Mensch, I think it's going to be a fun team to watch. And I think it's obvious Greg Collins is trying to build something, slowly but surely. But
yeah, they're still a very young team.
They
still need some time, but I do like the roster construction. I kind of see what they're going for is like we need some taller players. We already have our guards. Now I'm wondering what kind of offense and everything is going to implement. Obviously, we're still a ways away because they still have some incoming players as well. But I do kind of like the outlook. I mean, you're going to put together this young core that can go to the future. And if you can, hang on to a lot of them because, so obviously Salma's in the transfer portal. If you can hold on to some of these players, you got a good core for the future that if you can just let it keep growing, you can maybe get something done.
Which I will say, with both men's basketball and women's basketball, they kept their core pieces, which I feel like we, especially men's basketball, didn't see that a lot from a few seasons ago. Don McHenry left. All these popular names left, but this offseason they were able to obtain all of their stars for the most part. Yeah, I'm excited. I think the Lady Toppers perform best when they're in that run and go offense that we saw with Alexis Mead and Josie Gilvin and Acacia Hayes. So if they're able to get back to that somehow, I think it'll be a very successful season.
And I could see them doing that. I felt like they went a little bit more up-tempo at times, and later on in the season, like they kind of were able to find some success doing that. Obviously, the pieces weren't in place. They had a lot of injuries, but I do think they are set up well for success in the future, both men's and women's basketball. I think it's also important to note that both of these upcoming seasons for Hank Plona and Greg Collins are going to be very important. These are swing seasons for their coaching positions and for the future of both sports. Like this is like very key years. Greg Collins going into a key, I believe, his 8th year at the helm.
8th or 9th.
He will be in like a very tough position right now, but it seems like he's on the right track, with his roster construction here. Same thing for Hank Plona. You had a tough first 2 years, but a lot of injuries. You retain your core, you get some new players. I think it's going to be very interesting going into these next 2 seasons, or not take the next 2 seasons. Well, these seasons for both teams.
I think they're definitely going to be under a microscope, but I think it's going to be exciting.
Oh, yeah. I will not be here for it, but Peyton Reid will be the reporter for both. So.
Yep. Speaking of men's basketball, mentioned it a little bit, retained the core of their team. Tegan Moore, Armello Boone's coming back. LJ Hackman's coming back. 3 solid players. Yeah. And more names, of course, coming back, adding pieces to the roster. I think they're set up to have a really good season.
Yeah, if they can stay healthy,
Yes.
which has been the key the last 2 years was their health. Like they had a lot of rough injuries. Celebonge pretty much just ended their season when he went down. Like that was the
I think
real
getting
turning
him back
point.
will be really exciting.
Yes, because they had no paint presence when he left, and you already had Luis Simona also was injured, and he was another player that was supposed to kind of fill that role. But they definitely, the season turned when Celebonge went down, and if they can keep their core healthy, I think they're set up to be a good season. Because I mean, Conference USA, you never know how good these teams are going to be until the season starts. Like, who knew Kennesaw State was going to be that good?
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh,
that was a shock. But Celebonge played 9 games, was their leading rebounder. I think even when you go look at the stats, he was the leading rebounder all season, despite only playing 9 games. He had that much of a factor in the paint. So getting him back, you're losing Leroy Odiahi, Blaise Keita. So getting Celebonge back will be a nice addition, and I think he'll fill in fine with their group that they already have.
yeah. Definitely. I think this upcoming season for both teams, this is going to be must-watch TV because every game's going to matter.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, in every season it matters, but it's going to be key for both these teams to get off to a very good start. And, I mean, it took a little bit of NIL and everything and the transfer portal to get going, but it seems like they're on the right track. Both teams are.
And, I mean, once you get both teams in the gym working as one unit, in a sense, it'll be really nice. But they're gonna have to start out with a great start to the season. Men's basketball did it. Women's basketball had a rough start.
Yeah.
Got a few games under their belt towards the end, but it was too little, too late. So if both teams can start out really good, it'll be an exciting season, and that's how you get fans in the building.
That's true.
I think that's it for Around the Hill this week.
I think that is. We'll update you more next week if there's anything else going on. I'm sure there will be some more additions, but
track and field's doing good. Women's golf's doing good. Men's golf heading to the Conference USA tournament tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can find some success.
Either way, we'll tell you all on Sunday. And
yes.
Someone's screaming upstairs. I don't know.
I hope everyone's okay. But we will now give it off to Morgan, Michael Givner, and Malone for NHL.
Thought it'd be funny if I just had my face in the corner, like I'm doing a Let's Play YouTube video.
Thanks to Peyton and Austin for showing us around the hill. I'm Morgan.
And I'm Michael Givner.
And I'm Malone Farmer.
And we're here to talk about the NHL.
Yeah, it's hockey time.
My time to shine.
I would like to say that this is the most in-depth I've been at with the NHL. So it's been fun. It's been fun, sitting at home, watching hockey. It's been fun.
This is an all-year event for me. I worked for the Preds. I work for an SPHL team. So I am always in hockey all the time. And, watching. I was at a Preds game in the concourse when the Flyers won that game that secured them the playoff spot, and I did jump into my friend's arms.
But by the way, Morgan is a sports reporter. Michael Givner.
Oh yeah, I didn't say that.
Michael Givner is the assistant sports editor.
Am I?
As of right now, yeah.
Currently, you are. And I am the podcast producer, a commentary writer, and a sports writer. Those are our job titles. That's why you should trust our opinions.
Jack of all trades.
Please. It's the Stanley Cup playoffs, round 1. Carolina just sweeped, so they have secured their spot in round 2.
Hurricanes.
Obviously.
They look very good.
It looks like, as of right now, round 1, game 4 for the Avalanche and the Kings is happening. It's 4-1 with 7 minutes left 6 minutes left. My God, my bad. In the third period, so it looks like not the Kings, because they suck.
The Kings are getting swept. You are correct.
Yeah, there we go.
By the mighty
thank you.
Avalanche.
Yeah, so the Avs are definitely going to sweep. As of last night, I thought Philly was going to sweep.
They've only lost one game, which is pretty good, all things considered, because I don't think they were the favorite going into that series.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, and the fact that they took 3 games in a row, that's pretty impressive.
Good.
Now,
And they did change out, the Penguins changed out their goalie last night, so they didn't have Stuart Skinner in the net, which I feel like did change the game a little bit. So
I feel like Crosby is kind of like, I feel like the Flyers kind of had his number.
Crosby washed? Question mark?
I'm not gonna say that.
he
but
did score his
definitely-
first playoff goal tonight, if in the series.
Like
last night.
they've been kind of putting him in like jail this series. So
Well, because they're playing dirty.
I think that the Flyers will finish him off on their home ice in 6.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry, Morgan. You know.
I'm not.
Okay.
Don't worry.
I think the Penguins. It's like, and like the same with the NBA. You know, teams get desperate and they'll get, the Penguins will probably get game 5 on their own ice, but then the Flyers will be like, okay, let's close them out. You know, game 6. You know, keep it moving. Now my question for you is, so the Flyers do get past them, and they have the Hurricanes who just swept the Senators.
Oh, I have the Flyers going to round 2. I do not have them going past round 2. I love them. That's my team.
We'll stay in the Eastern Conference. The Lightning and the Canadiens just, started.
Every time David messages me, he goes, "Not another OT." I'm like, so I'm really impressed that like almost every game I think has gone into overtime.
Yeah. I think it literally is every game.
I also
gone
think
into
it has been
overtime.
every game.
Overtime, yeah.
He was in the office watching one of the times it went into overtime. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, so I'm not impressed that's going into overtime every time, but I guess it means that they're just like pretty good teams that are on solid playing fields. I don't really care about the Canadiens and I don't really care about the Lightning, so I'm not keeping too much up with that series.
I want it to be known that I am not rooting for the Canadiens. I am rooting against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't want the state of Florida to get a win. I don't think they deserve it.
Considering they won 2 Stanley Cups in the past 2 years.
And also, they're the state of Florida.
And amen to that.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's actually so real.
Plus, my boy David Quintanilla is a Canadiens fan, so I feel like I have a moral and ethical obligation to saying that the Canadiens should win.
And they are winning so far. So, let's talk about the Sabres and the Bruins next. Sabres were a surprise from the league to make it to the playoffs, just because they're a young core, they're a young team, and I think at the beginning of the season they were doing like actually so bad. Like, I think they sucked. And then it was like last season, they performed really well for a short period of time, and then they tanked. So seeing them in this playoff, every time somebody's like, "Did you watch the Sabres game?" I'm like, no, because I don't care about Buffalo or the Bruins.
But they
like,
made wings. They made the wings.
You're so
And
right.
they made O.J. Simpson.
But I am always mad impressed with how many like goals Buffalo was just like putting up against the Bruins, who are like a historically pretty good team. I don't know how they've been this season, but I will say I am rooting for the Sabres. I do like, and maybe it's because I played NHL 21, and when you get it 21 or 22, can't remember off the top of my head, and you get drafted to the Sabres, and I just like, now they have like a little special place in my heart. I care about them a little bit, but I'm just like mad impressed about their performance. Always. So,
What's going to happen when they play the Lightning or the Canadiens in the second round? Should they get past the Boston Bruins? Could not tell you, but
Thank you for asking that question, Givner, and then not providing any insight.
I think that it's like Morgan said, they look really good offensively. They are really overcoming the Bruins defense, but we're seeing from the Lightning and the Canadiens, those are two evenly matched teams that are going into overtime just about every game. They both look really good defensively. How is that going to affect the Sabres? Can't really tell.
it's just a lot of the young core teams are just performing very, very well.
And
So,
because they're young core teams, it's kind of like a question mark because you don't really have any like evidence to base what their performance will look like in the playoffs off of.
Yeah, and it's-
in every sport, playoffs are just a completely different beast. It's,
Yeah.
You know, so.
And that's how it's been like for the Flyers, because we have like Porter Martone and Denver Berkey, and we've pulled up Alex Bump and Oliver Bonk, and like
I'm sorry, you said
Barky and Bonk.
You said Oliver Bonk?
Yeah.
Bonk.
Yeah. He's my little friend. But like it's very interesting to see them pull these people up, or also like they've just been on the team for like the last couple of months. You know, Porter Martone just a couple of months, like a month ago, was still playing college, and he has 2 playoff goals. He has an assist. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah. So he's like, it's incredible to see what a young core can do, especially for my Flyers.
I will insert here some things that I gathered from game 1 of the Flyers versus the Penguins.
It was a joyous occasion for me. Let's move on to the Oilers and the Ducks. I am honestly not shocked that the Ducks are leading. This is going to sound really mean. I don't think Connor McDavid will see a cup in his time. I don't.
I agree.
If he sticks with the Oilers, at least. I don't think he will. And with the way it works, I am sure he will. But I'm also just like weirdly impressed the Ducks are doing so good.
They're mighty, I'm told.
Well, I have beef with them. So I don't really have much to say on them because they're just like another team that's pretty young. That's decently young.
Yeah.
Next up is the Knights and the Mammoth. I have a lot of opinions on the Knights.
I also have a lot of opinions on
Especially
the Knights.
with who they put in net recently.
Who did they put in net recently?
Carter Hart.
Oh my God.
He is having a playoff run. So he also performed miserably the other night, though. Yay!
He did. He really did. I'm very disappointed in the Golden Knights.
Franchise from hell.
Listen,
That's literally any sports franchise in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Every Las Vegas-based sports franchise, with the exception of the Las Vegas Aces, is a sports franchise from hell.
okay, the Raiders, sure, because the Raiders are the Raiders. But, like, listen, the Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup.
They have Jack Eichel. They have Mark Stone. They have Carter Hart. All of these people are terrible.
Evil Men Incorporated, the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, so last that leaves us with the Wild versus the Stars. My friend is a really big Stars fan, so I get like the updates on the Stars versus the Wild. But they won pretty recently, but I still think Minnesota is leading.
It's 2-2.
Oh, is it? Okay. I was like, I'm trying to pull it up because I don't know.
Game 5 is in Minnesota.
Okay.
This is a series where I just hope both teams, like a sinkhole opens up and both teams fall in. I hate the Stars. I despise the Stars. I hope that like all the Stars fans, like a meteor hits them and like.
Whoa. My good friend.
And then Minnesota, I have no beef with Minnesota. I went to Minnesota a couple summers ago. Minneapolis was amazing. I wanted.
Then why do you want a sinkhole to open?
Because of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind that.
And by proxy, Minnesota is now on my hate list. I want Minnesota for Christmas this year to get nothing but coal.
I have no dog in the fight for the Stars versus the Wild because I don't care about either team.
Because I know the Stars are going to get past them and they're going to have to play the Abs. And I watched the series last year when the Stars beat them and I was sad. I hope Minnesota wins, but
so yeah, that's the NHL. We'll maybe be back for round 2. I doubt it. Keep up with it if you like this. If you like the Stanley Cup, make your bracket. I think the Avs are gonna win.
Avs are winning it all.
I don't want to say that, but I think they are.
No, you are 100% correct. They're gonna win it all.
I don't know who will go to the final, but I do think the Avs are gonna win. That's the NHL update.
At least one team in Denver will do something in the playoffs.
That's it for the College Heights Huddle this week.
I'm not done.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on all social media if you want to.
Subscribe to our YouTube.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Please.
Hey, comment if you want to. Leave a like.
You're feeling crazy.
Go crazy down there. And we'll be back next week for the final episode of this semester.
Wow, don't say that. I'm going to cry. It's my last ever episode.
It'll be Giv's last episode and Austin's last episode. And probably David's last episode next week as well.
And maybe mine.
And maybe Morgan's. Well, we'll see you next week, guys. Bye.
Can you throw it at Malone when we start
No,
recording?
don't do that. You're gonna hit the camera.
No, can we record like this?
No. We're at least supposed to pretend to be a serious podcast sometimes.
Why?
Yeah, why? We have Michael DeWay, Givner Jr. All right, let's do this.
Okay.
Yes! Yes! Oh my God, that was fire! Oh my! that was
perfectly
that was awesome.
We don't bully in the workplace, though.
Prayers up for Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo, though, but I still hate all of y'all.